I am indeed. Good evening, Democrats.
Spotlight you before you start, just so
Right.
you'll be front and center on the recording. All right, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, Democrats. I am Ron Galperin. I serve as the elected controller of the city of Los Angeles, running to be your next state controller. I'm very proud to have followed in the footsteps of the great Rick Tuttle, who also served as city controller for many years with tremendous distinction. And so wonderful to see you on this Zoom call, along with so many other people that I know, and looking forward to all seeing you in person in the not too distant future. I'm LA's first citywide LGBTQ elected official, also the first in my family to be born in this country. My parents were both immigrants coming here with almost no English that they spoke. And my dad was a Holocaust survivor and a refugee, and they came for a better life. And thankfully, they were able to achieve that. But we know that too many others are struggling each and every single day. And that's why we come together as Democrats, because we want to create a more equitable world, a world with more opportunity, a world in which we really are taking care of our environment and addressing climate change, addressing so many of the issues that people deal with each and every single day. The past 2 years, as we know, have been especially tough for so many people, with economic and food and housing insecurity, inadequate access to medical care, deep racial inequalities, an environment and climate in peril, and also being the father now with my husband, Rabbi Zach Shapiro, who's the rabbi of Temple Akiba in Culver City, being the parents of twins who are now 2.5 years old. I want to make sure that we keep our earth a hospitable place for them and for generations to come. And how do we address these challenges? And I believe we do so with better public policy, with clear priorities, with budgeting that is reflective of our values. And the job of the controller is to make sure that that spending is transparent, that it is accountable, that it is effective. And it's a job that I've done now for nearly 9 years as controller of the city of LA. And I am proud to have revolutionized the office with unprecedented transparency, open checkbook, open data, dashboards, audits that are really meant to create change, tools, and most crucially, really advocacy to make government more responsive. I launched a comprehensive COVID-19 resource hub. If you haven't checked it out, it's got hundreds of resources available. By the way, all of this is at lacontroller.org. And the first ever equity index to measure challenges in our communities. And we talk a lot about equity and how do we actually measure it? How do we achieve it? And so we actually delve into each neighborhood, looking at what are the numbers of renters versus owners? What are the rent burden for people living there? Education levels, income levels, proximity to toxics, air quality. And all of this is to begin to kind of assess a variety of ways to measure equity and say, here's where we are today. Here's where we need to be 5 years from now. Here's where we need to be 10 years from now. And here are also some of the ways in which we can redirect some of our resources to make sure that we're achieving that. I really believe that perhaps the most important manifestation of what our values are is a budget. And the controller has a unique role in the state of overseeing how our more than $250 billion a year gets spent. Also serving on 78 boards and commissions. It's almost dizzying and really quite exciting. Everything from State Lands and Coastal Commission to CalPERS and CalSTRS, the Franchise Tax Board, apportionment of tax credits for affordable housing, bonds for just about everything that you can imagine. And I want to bring my values, experience, passion to this, and I'm ready to do the job on day one. Really proud to have the support of Controller Betty Yee, our current controller, her predecessor, John Chung, many other elected officials across the state, many other members of labor and a bunch of labor unions. I'm the one candidate running for this who actually is a controller and who has been for quite a number of years. So you can learn more at ronforcalifornia.com. Very happy to take your questions. And by the way, before doing so, I'm going to invite my husband over because I think many of you know him. He's actually the rabbi of Culver City, California. Rabbi Zach Shapiro.
Hi, everyone.
At Temple Akiba on Culver City, in Culver City on Sepulveda, which is also, by the way, where we send our now twins to preschool. So we have many, many deep connections and a great love of Culver City and its communities. You want to say something, Zach?
Only that, Ron, I'll sell you a little bit more, Ron. Not sell you.
All right.
He's an incredible person. No one does it like he does. And I'm proud to be his husband of almost 25 years.
Everybody should have their own personal rabbi. What can I say? All right. With that, happy to open it up for questions. Thank you so very much.
Fantastic, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Galperin? Please raise your Zoom hand. Okay, Rick Tuttle.
I just want to, I know something about this office, Ron. You've done meaning the one you now hold. Ron, you've done a terrific job as Los Angeles City Controller, splendid job. And as someone who urged you to run for state controller, pleaded with you to do so, I'm so glad you're doing this. You'll be a great state controller, and I strongly urge the members of the club to vote to endorse you. It's also wonderful to see you and Rabbi Shapiro. Thank you.
Thank you. I have learned so much from Rick Tuttle. I learn so much every single time I speak to you as well. And we were very fortunate to have you serving in the capacity of a city controller in LA. And I am so grateful for your support over many years and your wisdom.
All right, well, seeing no further questions, I want to thank you for visiting us, and feel free to hang out and hear the other candidates. So thank you, Ron. Thank you.
Wonderful to be with you. Thank you so very much. And thank you so much for your consideration.
I'll say